Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Partner Honesty. I'm Tiffany,
I'm Megan.
and we're going to rewind that real quick because we had a lot of great comments on one of our posts this week. And the question was, what do you wish your parents had talked to you about? I have so many things, but I don't think they would have got answered really great from the parent that I had. So we're going to let Megan start and start telling us what you guys see.
Well, I'm going to let the audience start. So we have some comments. Kelly said that adults in scary white vans or online are not the only people to watch out for. It can be your neighborhood kids, family, etc. I think that's true because I remember, I'm 46. I remember my parents talking about the white van and strangers. Never talked about your uncle might be creepy, or the neighbor kid might be creepy.
Yeah.
So I think that's a valid
I don't think
point.
my parent talked to me about stranger danger at all. And I grew up in the era where Wayne Williams in Atlanta was kidnapping children and taking them off and doing stuff with them. So there was a sense of be careful, but we never talked about it. It was just, I guess, ingrained in our mind. Okay, stranger danger, don't go with somebody you shouldn't. But she never talked to me.
The kids don't know any better anyway. Another one from Bridget was money.
Yeah.
And how to fail and rebound, which is true. Because I think as parents, we push like, you want to go to college or you want to play a sport, but we don't talk enough about it's okay if you fail. You're going to learn the most from your failures. Yeah. And I think as parents, we don't want to really, because I think in my brain, even with me, I don't want my kids to think, oh, let's go fail, let's go fail, let's go fail. But they need to know it's okay to fail and grow from it.
I would agree with that comment. I think I wish I had been more willing to allow them to fail and supportive in that because, like you said, they would have learned a lot of lessons, but then they would have also realized, okay, you don't have to be perfect and all put together because nobody actually is. And it's okay. What are we focusing more on? What are we learning from this that we can move forward and do better? Yeah. I wish I had done more of that.
Yeah, I do too. I feel like with all the, I think everybody thinks we expect as parents our kids to be perfect, but we don't.
No.
So I think that's a good point of like, you're going to fail, but what is it? How do you recover from that failure is what matters. So that's a good point. Also, which we talked about in a couple of podcasts back, aging and their wishes surrounding them before it's crunch time.
And that just happened to my family recently. The wishes expressed to the brother was not communicated to the children. And so the children did the opposite of what the brother said the sister actually wanted. And I do blame the mother because if you had been communicating with your children, then they would have known, okay, I want this kind of funeral. But I also blame the children because where have you guys been the last couple of years? To not know, okay, this is what she really wants. So it was sad.
Yeah.
It was really sad.
And I think too, when people pass, the people who are never around show up and want an opinion. So it's hard, about that.
Yes.
Edward made a good point. He said that, this is a great question. I learned from being a parent that we try to teach the things that we think are important based on the world we grew up in and the information we have. So if we didn't learn it, we can't teach it. And so how many lessons have you tried to teach to your own children that fell on deaf ears? Lastly, information has never been more available than it is now, which is true. So like what he's saying, number one, I can't teach you about,
I don't know,
whatever, maybe it was money if I was broke, or I can't teach, so maybe people only focus on and now I think a lot of people assume they'll learn it on the internet. They'll ask the internet, and those conversations are kind of dwindling because you can learn it on the internet.
But is that also, I would say it's also the era of the internet and social media. Because I feel like when we were kids, normal, regular families had conversations at the kitchen table that we don't do anymore because everybody is parsed out to, I'm going to my room and look at social media. I'm going to sit on the couch and watch TV.
We still make it a requirement.
Yeah.
Like when we're all home, we're going to eat together at the table with no devices. Because I feel like otherwise you're never going to have a real conversation. And the funny thing is, though, thinking in my head, I started out when I had Madison that we're going to sit at a table and eat when we were married and whatever. My family never did that. So I think you can learn, and Nick's family never did that, but Nick's implemented it,
Mhm.
so I think you can in a way, but you're probably going to miss things you don't know. If you don't know how to budget, you're probably not going to teach your kids.
But you can still learn it. And so I feel like, okay, if that's something you want to do and you didn't get taught it yourself, one, you got to learn it yourself. And then you got to come up with a plan. Like you said, okay, we're going to have dinner together at the table. And during this dinner, we're going to talk about stocks.
Yeah.
Or we're going to talk about what's the latest thing going on now. And maybe I didn't learn it,
But you can learn it together.
yeah, we can learn it together. So I think that's on the parent, kind of, sort of.
Mary Jo said financial literacy.
Yes.
I have no idea how much my parents made or what it looked like to provide or what the life I'd want would be. And then Stacy replied to that. It's a great point, but what do we identify as financial literacy? Because over the last 50 years, it's changed greatly from credit cards, debt. So depending on age, that could, what we could be teaching now might be irrelevant. And
that's very true. And I never had any financial lessons outside of school that taught me, hey, this is how you balance your checkbook. This is what you do. And I did see my mother make it on the limited income that she had. She always figured it out, but there were times at the end of the month, okay, well, we got what we got and that's it. And you just make do. I think financial literacy is a big deal. How do you teach that?
If you don't
know. And I mean, I know a little bit just because of listening to Ed and watching him do stuff, but I still lean on him to be like, okay, we're doing this. Okay, with our finances. But budgeting, I teach you how to budget now.
And I think maybe just talking about it. So like we talked to the kids about the electric bill, like this electric bill is $400. Your shoes are that, like, not to like throw money in their face, but they're all adults. I mean, we have a 19, an 18 and a 16. They got to understand, and well, Madison's out of the house, but she's 22, but like they've got to understand that life isn't free outside the door. So like I feel like the more you talk about expenses, the more they start to like, even now the boys are like, man, gas is so expensive and I don't want to drive. Before they wouldn't drive everywhere they could, right? When it's like $30 to fill up and it's been 3 days.
That is very expensive.
Miss Helen said, I wish my parents had talked about their childhood and upbringing.
That's a very interesting comment. And we were talking before we started, and I was like, I think I would have had more empathy and compassion for my biological mother if I had known what she went through in her upbringing. I'm just learning about all of the crazy with her family and how she was raised now. But it would have made a difference. I would have saw her a little bit more as
an adult, I think.
Yeah.
As a kid, I don't think.
But because I do realize, okay, she was, abused just like she abused me. And to understand, okay, well, that's what she knew, it would have made a difference, I think. But they didn't. I don't think parents talk about it.
They don't. It's like my mom.
But I don't even do it with my kids. And Ed is always fussing at me about, you need to tell them, because we were talking about where I grew up in Alabama and how the house it had limited electricity, I think only in the kitchen. We didn't have HVAC and we didn't have a shower, like full bathroom. We just had a place you could go use the bathroom, but no shower, no bathtub. And we still had an outhouse. And he was like, they would be amazed to see where you grew up and where you are now if you shared your story with them. I just feel like I don't want them to see me as, I don't know, like pitiful.
But see, I think that puts too much thought into it. I don't think anybody would think of it that way. Like for me, like I knew very limited about my parents. I knew my dad worked on a farm a lot. They had farm in their family, and my mom and then lived above a bar because they owned Eakin's Tavern in Illinois. And so they lived above or below a bar. But I didn't hear stories of like, they had family dinners or, they took trips, nothing. I don't really know anything about theirs. So I don't think it's like to be dramatic. I think it's so people get like, did you take vacations? No, that makes sense. That's maybe why we don't take vacations. Yeah. Or, you know what I mean?
Well, why do take vacations?
Right.
Because
we didn't really take vacations. So I wanted to do vacations. Yeah. So like, I think them just knowing like where you come from too. Like you think you have it bad because you don't have the newest iPhone, but I didn't have indoor plumbing. So like, let's take apples to apples.
Okay. So it makes sense that you put it that way. So maybe tell them? I don't know.
I mean, just like for conversation, not to be like, I was so bored.
Oh, please no, I cannot do that.
But I think just like the next time they complain about something, like, it's funny, it's how advanced we've come, because when I was your age, or when I was 6, I didn't have we didn't have money, so we played cards with scrap paper. Or like, I don't know.
Okay.
Like, because I know my mom would tell stories like in their apartment, they had roaches really bad. And so they would play a game where they would like turn on the flashlight and see how many you could count.
Wow.
Just disgusting. But they had limited opportunities. And then to think where my mom is now.
Right.
So like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's probably good to know some of that. So you don't think it was just easy. They didn't have it because everybody wants what they see people have at 50, they want it at 20. And it's like,
Baby, I did not have none of what I have right now at 20.
No.
And I did have a conversation with the young fellow we trying to mentor and develop. He called, he was very frustrated at the dealership because his tag is not ready. Well, come to find out, they didn't do it. And he was like, I'm about to act ugly. And I was like, well, what is that going to do to help you?
Yeah.
Yes, you can be frustrated. Yes, you can be upset. But if you act ugly, it's going to make them less willing to do stuff to help you or to make up for the mistake they made. And everybody's human. We all make mistakes. And so he kind of calmed down. He got it. But I feel like I am showing him a different way of how to deal with emotions and conflict than what I saw as a kid or what I did as an adult.
Yeah.
And so I was really surprised at how he kind of changed his tempo at the end. But then later he called back and said, well, they're going to fix my headlight and then they're going to give him a free fill up. And I was like, well, that's what happens when you don't act like a jackass.
Right.
But training and teaching, I don't think you ever stop being a parent. And there's always opportunities to, hey, just because you saw me do this doesn't mean you have to do it.
Right.
So I'm
always a learning thing.
Yeah.
And the last one was about parents that didn't talk about their relationship, like how they navigated highs and lows and not just the pretty stuff. So I think like with that, like your parent, like my parents, they fought sometimes around us, but like, I don't recall my parents dating when we were kids. My dad traveled all the time. My mom ran her own business and was at home. And when we were at home, we were at home. But like, I don't ever recall like I could be wrong. So if my siblings are watching, I don't remember, please correct me. But I don't remember like if my dad had a work function, maybe my mom would go with, but like she didn't take him on a date. Like he didn't take her on a date. They didn't do anything that I'm aware of outside of us. So I do think fast forward now, we are much more of like, your kids can be at home and we can go do stuff, which but I would have loved to, like my parents were married, I don't know how long before my dad passed. I think almost 50 years.
Wow.
So I would have loved for them to talk more about, we hated each other at one point, or, we were mad at each other at one point. Oh, we made up at one point. Oh, your dad messed up or my mom messed up, or but this is how you work through it. But I think that generation was very quiet.
I think even our generation may be a little bit more quiet. I do know that in my own past relationship, I never talked about it because I didn't want to make the kids pick a side. But did we date? Well, yeah, we kind of went on church stuff. Ed and I went on dates.
Because I was like wondering, like, where is the dating? So, like, with my kids, so I've at home, not at home, but whatever, 2 girls, 2 boys. Okay. So with the girls, when they're dating someone, I'm like, why is this guy not taking you out? Why are you always being shacked up somewhere or hidden somewhere? Like, why are you not going out? And the boys, I try to tell the boys, Nick does too, like, you need to date, take them out. And if it's about money, it doesn't have to be money. It could be pickleball. It could be frisbee golf. We have all the things for it. It can be the Cape Fear, go walk, go whatever. You go play soccer. You go downtown, grab a tea for $3 and walk around. Like, there can be all these things. And I'm like, what's happened to dating to where like it's, oh, I'm going to their house. I'm going to their house. I'm going to their house. We're like, can she just come over? Can he just come over, lay around? And I'm like, you're not learning how people act in public.
No.
You're not learning how they act in stress.
That's true.
In stress, what if your food's wrong? What if somebody makes a scene? Are they protective? Are they crazy? Are they loud? Are they rude? Like, you're not learning all these skills about somebody. Because what if I go out with you in public and you act a fool? And I dated you 4 months and didn't know this because you never took me on a date.
Then we're going to have to figure out another way, or I'm going to have to move on because...
But what's happening to dating? And Sam, like
Please.
our friends in the 40s, 50s
Yes.
dating, like, apps are sucking for them, but yet going out in public is difficult, like events or whatever. It's like that meeting thing. And then once they meet people, it's like one friend of mine said that she went on a date and he immediately said, well, we're splitting the bill, right? And it's like, what? I get it, like nowadays, whatever. But that, if the way it was presented, I feel like it would have meant like this wasn't a great time, so let's just split the bill. Where if you maybe discuss, hey,
Then I wouldn't have went on a date with you
See,
because
I
hell no, we're not splitting anything. Are you interested in me? Where's the chivalry still? Like, why would you just automatically ask that question?
as a guy, yeah, it's like, but I think Nick says people like me have ruined dating because Nick always wants to help me with stuff. He wants to carry my bag. He wants to open the door. He wants to do everything. And I'm like, I got it. And he's like, you've taken away, you women like you have taken away a man wanting to be a man. It's like, I could do it. I could do it. And, women's, because I'm always like, women can do that. And what a man. Like, I'm very, so he's like, you've taken that away. So now when people date, a dude is in this conflict. Well, if I treat her this certain way, is she gonna think I think she's weak or less than or whatever? If I don't do it, then I look like an asshole. So
I have noticed that.
I do too.
I see it on social media all the time of like guys saying, hey, we want to date, but these are the things we, especially our age group, are going to do for a woman. And like you're saying, they're like totally against it. I can pay my half. Don't you worry about it and all of that. But I don't know if that's because we've moved away from interacting socially in person to online or social media, or is that truly what women want? Or is it because our experience over time has shown us, okay, guys don't want to do that anymore? I don't know.
Or does it, I feel like sometimes even in my own brain, and Nick, he values me 100%. But in my own brain, does that make me look weaker? Like, oh, are you going to think I'm dependent? Are you going to like, and he's never done anything to make me feel that way. But I wonder if a lot of women say, well, if I let him pay for, there's some women I know that are like, let him pay for everything. Like, cool. Like, okay. But for others that are like, no, they don't need to pay for that. They don't need to open the door. They don't need to, they don't need to do that. They don't need to, I feel bad. Mass does it all. I feel bad. If he's offering it's something he wants to do and can afford to do, we have to let the power go down a little bit. And I know people get weird about the word submissive. I'm not saying be submissive, but those same women in 5 years complain that
guys
doesn't take charge.
Yeah.
Or he's a wuss, or he doesn't. Well, we've kind of put him there by constantly doing everything ourselves, paying for everything and saying no. So that's why I'm like, with our kids, he should be taking you out. If he wants to pay, let him pay, but then take turns even maybe. Let him pay one time and then you pay the next time because everybody has a budget. Yeah. Why don't you guys pick one paying date, one non-paying date? Like go to the park, go do Frisbee golf, do pickle, do something like activity, learn each other. Then the next person take a turn. And like for the boys, I'm like, why? You should be taking girls out, laying around on a couch or laying around each other and not doing anything. Like, what are you learning about each other? And what's here's the flip side. If my boys were dating these boys, boys are dating these girls. Yeah. If I was those girls' parents, I'd be like, why is this boy never taking you out? Why are you never doing anything? Why aren't you going anywhere? Why are you always laid up in my house?
I would be asking the same questions because
go for a walk.
Go do
seriously.
And then what are you doing on this date if you're just at the house? Are you just scrolling on your phone? Are y'all looking at TV? Are you having a conversation about a movie?
Because how much are we getting to know each other these days? That's what when my oldest is talking about in the future getting married. I'm like, you need to make sure you're having deep conversations because talking about memes and stuff is not. Have you talked about budget? Have you talked about money? Have you talked about kids? Kids, are you expected to go back to work, stay home? If you stay home, is he going to treat you like crap because people don't value? He doesn't value staying home. You need to have all these questions before you just
And then I think, like you're saying, in the dating part, you're training them of how you want them to be a significant other forever. So if I'm always the boss of the money as the woman, then he's never going to say anything about money
Right.
or give me any grief about or pushback about, oh, I think we probably shouldn't spend the money on this. Maybe we should do that. So
Then you're gonna be like, what? You don't have to tell me what to do.
like, yeah, that's going to cause issues later
Right.
on. But
Or
like
like
you're
just like
saying,
not doing stuff for me, and then you get married, you have kids, you're carrying stuff, and he's not opening the door anymore, and you're like, seriously, you're not even open the door? Well, I didn't do it for 5 years.
well, Danny, that's your answer.
So you know what I mean? Like, I feel like people don't think, like, it's so, I watch things out, I'm just like, what has happened?
I know.
And that's why, like, Nick and I try to make it a priority to go on a date, because even married couples
Yes.
should date.
Yes.
Like, escape your life, escape
Yes.
your kids, and go on a date, even if it's once a month. But like, and you know, we try to say, let's not talk about the kids. Let's not talk about kids, and let's not talk about work. Let's just talk about life. Like, what do you think of this? Where do you want to go on vacation? What do you want to do? Like, because otherwise, like, we end up arguing. So I feel like, but I just don't understand, like, dating is such a fun time of life
It is.
that why are people okay with doing nothing?
I don't know. Because I think when you mention dating, for me, I feel like I'm getting to learn what I like, what I don't like in a partner, and that will determine, okay, how I pick my significant other for the rest of my life. So if we're going on dates and we're not talking,
Right.
well,
If
then
we
what-
can't communicate without our phones, so
then
we're
you're gonna never be able to
we're not
communicate.
going to ever be able to communicate.
Never. And so,
But why? Okay, here's the other thing. I'm like all in place. Young kids, I feel like some of them, they get a girlfriend or boyfriend,
Mhm.
and it's like, I'm gonna marry. It's the end all be all, and it's like, seriously. And why is the other parent encouraging this?
huh?
Like, and then when they go to dating, and you're trying to tell them, we talk, and I'm like, do you though? What do you guys know about each other? Because if you're just laying next to each other, scrolling your phone, watching TV, how am I learning
Okay,
about
but
you?
like, because what I want to know is, what is your ambition? Okay, you're going to college. What do you want to be when you finish
Yeah.
college? Okay, you're not going to college. What kind of trade or what kind of job do you think you want to have? Do you want kids? How do you spend money? Do you spend money like water, or do you put savings and
Yeah.
like?
Do you like
What
to
do
do
you
stuff?
like?
Do you like to be outside? Do you like to do outside activities?
Do you
Do you
love the
like-
beach like I do? Because if
Yeah.
you don't, then
Right.
what the heck? Yeah, I don't.
And I know it's different when you're younger. So I think like 25 and up, you know, those are things you need to be exploring. When in your 40s dating, I think like, and that's the other thing is like, I hear some of our friends talk,
Mhm.
right? And I'm like, why are there games still at 40? Like,
I don't know.
they go on a couple dates and they look like that. And I'm like, well,
I
have you asked him? Like, is he like, is he divorced? Is he what? Well, we'll get there. I'm like, why are we?
Well, I mean, come on now.
You're
So
48 years old.
I don't understand the older dating. I would never want to date at my age, my big old age right now, because I just think it's not real. It's either, okay, you're my significant other with benefits only when I'm around you, or we made this agreement that we can be and do whatever we want when we come together. It's just us two, and we put everybody else to the side. And then when we're not around each other, you go do what you want to do. And it's years,
See, that's weird.
years.
But I just feel like more people are doing that.
Why?
I think it's because they don't know how to maintain a relationship. So this might start to feel boring with you because we've been together so long. So instead of figuring out, talking about, spicing it up, do something, well, you can go talk to somebody, I'll talk to somebody, but we come together. And no.
No, because you're women, honest to God, women, y'all know darn well you're going to catch feelings. And as soon as the little chicks run in the DM and tell you, that's my man Monday through Thursday or whatever, you going to be pissed. So how is that okay?
I don't understand how it's okay ever.
How is that okay?
Like if you're young, if you're dating and you're just dating multiple people is one thing.
okay, yes.
But if you're in a committed relationship,
Ain't no
should be in a
committed
committed
relationship. No.
But I think that people don't know how to have committed relationships. Think about if you are freshly single at 40
okay.
and you have the internet at your hands, right?
Okay.
So you could post a thirst trap and people are going to be hitting you up in the
Yes.
DMs. You know, I feel like, can people focus off of that? Like we were talking about the other
Well,
part of our podcast, you know, the internet gives you so much attention.
Oh, yeah.
So are people afraid to just be, I'm just going to be with you, but then I'm getting all this attention from these people. So maybe I shouldn't settle right now because I'm getting all this attention.
Okay, and I think that's fine, but you have to be honest with yourself and say what it is you're really looking for. If you're just having fun and you want to date to kind of figure out who I am now, what I like now, because you're newly single, then that should be something you say up front. I'm just having fun. I'm just dating.
Yes, be upfront.
But after that, when you get serious, why are you dipping and dapping with everybody?
Right.
I don't understand.
And see, and that's the same thing with our friends that are older that are dating. I'm like, well, did you ask him? Because she's very social. Like, she goes to all this stuff. And she's like, well, he complains that I do too much stuff. I said, did you not talk about this in the beginning? Like, you're 48 years old. You know that you like to go out. You like to go down to the club. You like to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, you should probably know that when you just start dating somebody in your age group. At 20, you might not know what you're going to be like at 50.
Yeah.
But at 50, you know what you like. You're not going to switch from a homebody to a social butterfly.
No.
But
No.
I don't know. Dating, I don't know. The dating thing to me is just, it blows my mind. And we even give our kids, like, we find coupons for like buy one mini golf, get one free at Omni. So it'd be like $9 for 2 people. So it's like, look,
That's pretty
cool. Do this. It's $6. You went with us. It's a cute little place. Go take them out. Go do something. It's hot. I don't want to. That's lame.
It's hot.
So it's hot. It's hot. It's lame. So we're just gonna hang out at their house. And I'm like,
I don't know. I think
date. Like,
but I don't think dating now was made as popular as when we were dating. We always went and did stuff outside of the house. You wanted to go skating. You wanted to go to the movie.
Well, my
theater.
parents wouldn't let me lay up on the couch with somebody.
No.
So I would want to be at my house. I mean, maybe we'd be outside or whatever, but my parents would never, I'm never not allowed in my bedroom when I was younger, never. And I was not allowed to lay up on the couch with them.
No.
So we always went out. But the rule, like, even when Madison's father, he'd pull up in the driveway and my dad would not let me walk out that door.
No,
because he's going to get out of the car, come get you, and then he better open that car door. So when I walk to the car door, I'd be like, open the car door. Because if you don't, I ain't leaving.
Your dad is going to get you. But I think also that was, training parents, training young people. This is what you should expect from a guy or a girl when you are doing stuff. But I also remember being broke and still doing stuff that was fun, that was free.
Hiking mountain. Yeah. We have just great places around here.
Yeah. Broke into new construction, just being nosy, looking around. And that was so much fun because it gave us the opportunity to be real.
Yeah.
We didn't have to be fake. We weren't all dressed up. We was just plain Jane, normal, and we had conversations. So I don't know if it's because everything is expensive now that people aren't creative enough to come up with, okay, well, no, I can't take you out to a fancy dinner because that's $100. But what else can I do? Can I do
I to one of our kids, I said, why don't you, if you're so close to this person, you could just say, hey, I have a budget. It's $20.
Yeah.
So we can go to a nice restaurant and get an appetizer to share. Or we could go get little ice creams and go walk the park. Like,
that sounds fun to me.
That's what I'm saying. But it's just like this. Now, one of ours, does more than some of the others. But it's just like, it irks me that it could be months and you've been out one time outside each other's homes. Like,
what is the girl saying? Or what is
the girl doesn't care, and obviously the parents don't care. But I would, like, my girls, when they date, I'm like, why are they not taking you out? Why haven't you been on a date? Why didn't they offer to pay? Why didn't they?
Maybe the parents are afraid that, okay, if I let my daughter go out with this dude, I don't know what they're doing, where they're going. Maybe it's a little safer for me to have them sit at the house. I can watch them and see what they're doing.
You think they're watching them?
Okay, I don't know. The girl parents that Megan has experienced.
No, they don't.
Like, I could not be the parent of those girls because I'd be like, what in the world are y'all doing back there? Come up here so I can see you. Sit on the couch.
Yeah.
Nobody wants
to. But that's the other thing, too, is getting these kids. Some of them are really good, but some of them have not been. We've had a lovely 4 years.
Yeah.
Significant others. That's the other thing, too, is talking to parents. Like, some kids are great at it. They come in, they talk, and others, I just don't understand how, were you not taught that?
No.
To come in and speak to the adult in the room and say hello and whatever. That gets me too.
No.
I'm like,
no, nobody's training that anymore. I mean, you barely can say anything to a teeny bopper right now without you pissing off the parents, because
Yeah.
I'm giving you a tidbit that might be good for you the rest of your life to know, hey, open the door for the lady, because that's nice.
Yeah.
Because if you don't open the door for me and I'm your mama at 60, I'm going to slap you upside the back of your head. Because what
Right.
the heck? I don't think it's not taught anymore. It's just not. And then everything is online. You
Yeah.
do the snippet, and
People
that
say
means I
to me,
like you.
Yeah, if I send you memes and I send you Snapchat, we together, we talk. And that's the other thing too, is like,
They get together so fast.
oh my gosh, they get together so fast. But with the teenagers, the constant, like, have to be on the phone with them 24/7. Like, if I'm not texting or gaming with you, you're going to be in my earpiece. And as I walk around the house and do chores or whatever, you're talking to me, you're just sitting on the phone. And I'm like,
I get
that's like an unhealthy attachment to me. Like, now, as all of my kids are getting older, the older ones are seeing that. They're like, that's annoying. And like, yeah, tried to tell you 2 years ago. But the younger one, hasn't quite gotten there yet. And it's like every moment has to be with this person. I'm like, that is unhealthy. That's unhealthy. You should be able to go 2 hours and not communicate and not be mad at each other for it.
Because what you going to do when you go to work?
Keeps them in the earbud. All these jobs are so lax unless you keep an AirPod in and then sit on the phone. Yeah.
No, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
So when I'm at my 9 to 5, we're not talking unless we can email
Right.
each other, or I might sneak a phone call at lunch, and that's
But
it.
it's also healthy. It's also healthy to have space. Even me and Nick don't talk all day. We have one phone call during the day. The morning, some point, maybe during the day, we've actually stopped that one. And then after he gets off work.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't need to
Because if I'm talking to you all throughout the day, what am I saying to you when I get home?
Yeah.
I have nothing to share with you, and you're going to be looking at me like.
And that's the other thing too, is I hear a lot of people say, I just don't know we just don't talk like we used to. Well, you know why? Because we talk all our energy out all day. We social media it out all day. So like, you're on social media, you're commenting, engaging. Then I'm talking to you at work and dumping on you. And I'm talking to another girl at work. And then I come home and talk to my kid. And then you walk in the door from work. I'm like, how's your day? Good. How's your day?
Because I'm all talked out.
I'm all talked out, or I'm all stimulated out because I've been on social media. So that's why I feel like adult couples have to date.
Yes,
because it forces you out of the house.
And you got to put the phone down. You got to put the phone down and have a unique conversation about what you're doing at that moment. That helps a lot. I didn't really learn about marriage dating until, I'm sure, I went to a therapist, and she was like, y'all need to date and get out and do stuff. So I do like Megan. She always invites us to date night with her and Nick. It's very fun. It has gotten us out of that habit of, we got to do this, this, and this, and this, and not have fun with each other. So I do love that. And
we've been doing fun stuff.
It's very beneficial.
Yeah.
And I mean,
and it's fun to do.
It's not a lot of money
too. Yeah. Like,
it's
free golf was free. Pickleball was free.
Free 99.
We did after.
Yes, we did. But that's okay.
Yeah.
It's still getting us talking. And so after we go out with you guys, we have stuff to talk about. I want to really learn pickleball better and figure out the rules, or let's talk about the rules, or that was so funny when I did such and such. It gives you something else to talk about. That's not work. That's not kids.
Sounds
that's
heavy.
not the future.
Yeah.
It's not your parents that you're taking care of. But
it's not heavy. It's fun. Yeah.
How to date.
Well, I think you have to get over your frustration also with your spouse. Because, you're annoyed with let's be real. Maybe, I'm sure there's magical couples who never get frustrated with each other. But I'm sure them. I know. Yeah, you should come on here and tell us how. But, you get frustrated. So once you get in that mood or annoyed or frustrated, I think it's even harder to be like, let's go do something fun tonight. Or let's go do this. It's kind of like, no, I'm tired. And we skip it easier.
Yeah.
Where, when you're with, but it also helps, like, sometimes when we go with you guys to do stuff, it's just so light.
Yeah. It is.
It's so light. It's so fun. We all talk shit to each other, and like, we have a good time.
Yes.
And it's like nothing heavy, and you can leave and go, that was really fun.
Yeah.
It was a good
and
time.
I think it is important that, okay, if you're in a committed relationship, whether you're dating or married or whatever, that you do hang out with married or committed couples, so that you're not inviting extra stuff into your relationship.
Yeah.
I don't know that people consider that.
Yeah. I think it's good too, like, even our younger kids go on double dates. So you start to learn, like, there's so much learning that goes on and expanding your horizon to like meeting people and different situations. And I just think nowadays I feel the younger people get more uncomfortable and more shy and everything because everything they've done has been behind a device. So I feel like, and yesterday we were at the store and Nest's like, Mom, please don't let me do that when I have a baby. I said, I know. There's less than a 1-year-old and the lady has a device, like, and I'm not judging. Okay. I know people
Yes,
have
I
in their
am.
comments, but her device is like, she has these these Velcro things to the grocery cart. So the baby at 1 can just watch this device. And I'm like, think about where this child's going to be at 8. At 1, if we can't get through groceries, she had one thing in her cart. So you couldn't come in, run and grab something. And I'm not judging. I've been a parent. I know there's always, what do you call it? Circumstances, extenuating circumstances. I get all that. So I'm not judging. But I'm just saying, if you think that a child, the only calming thing they have at 1 is a phone, how are you going to calm that child at 8? That 8-year-old's going to have a smartphone.
Communicate.
Well, right. That 8-year-old's going to have a smartphone, blah, blah, blah. So now you take that to 10, 12. By the time they get to dating at 15, they're not even know how to talk to people or express their own feelings or manage their own feelings.
That is the problem that I am seeing right now is some of my young adults don't know how to regulate their emotions. And I look at them and I'm like, if you're like this and you're frustrated over this one small thing, if you were in a relationship with somebody and they pissed you off, you would react the same way. So no wonder you're single.
Right.
Because you can't regulate your emotions, express yourself to say, hey, I'm pissed off about this. And I'm not screaming and hollering at you. I'm just venting how I feel and come to some resolution of, okay, can you understand where I'm coming from? And I'm sorry if I made you feel bad, but I just need to get that out. He don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
And he's probably single because of that.
Right. So I think
because I wouldn't want to be with you if you screaming and hollering, acting a fool over
something basic,
something so simple that you don't have to. But like you're saying, they never learn how to regulate their emotions because you've got a device, or you just blow up and it's okay. Nobody say nothing.
Right. Because I mean, gosh, you hear how some of these kids talk to their parents these days. I'm just like, holy crap. So if they get away with it there, how are they going to handle it with their boss, their girlfriends? I'm just blown away. I feel like I was born in the wrong. I should have been born I should be 30 years ago, because I am like,
I think about that quite often. And I say things. I lived in the 50s. I could not.
I don't know, maybe the 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
Maybe 90s, maybe been 30 in the 90s. I don't know, because I'm like, my daughter doesn't even cuss around me still. I mean, I don't really care anymore. She's grown, but she still doesn't. And God forbid if she ever looked at me and ran her mouth the way some of these kids, she knows. She wouldn't even dare, to be honest. Because she know we fight.
My kids still know I'm not one of your little friends. Don't even try it with me. But
I can't. I can't.
Anyway, so what are you guys telling your young girls, young men about dating older ladies? Come on, spill the tea and tell us, how are you dating? What do you expect from guys? Guys do the same thing to the girls. Let us know in the comments below. We do want your 5-star ratings. Please share this podcast. And until next time, bye.